Alright guys, let's take a trip down memory lane, because today we're talking about the PSP. Yeah, that little handheld beast that gave us some of the most unforgettable RPGs ever made. Before microtransactions and endless DLCs took over, the PSP was dropping pure gold with stories, characters and gameplay that could keep you hooked for hours. Honestly, some of these titles still feel way better than what we get today. So buckle up, because we're diving into 15 epic PSP RPGs that prove classics never die. In fact, they're like 20 times better than most modern games.
The train has been overrun by Wu-Tai troops. Eliminate them and regain control of the train.
Oh yeah! Get serious!
Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII. So let's chat about Crisis Core. Final Fantasy VII, the PSP take on the Final Fantasy VII universe that just hits different. You play as Zack Fair, this hyped-up soldier dude who's all heart, courage, and that dreamy Buster Sword. It's a prequel, so you get to see what went down before the OG Final Fantasy VII. And yup, there's some deep, tear-jerking stuff that'll sucker punch your feels. The presentation? Unreal for a handheld, killer graphics, top-tier voice acting, and cinematic cutscenes that look PS2 worthy. Combat's a slick hybrid of action and RPG. Think real-time movement, materia, and that wild slot machine digital mindwave system that either blesses you with crazy buffs or utterly trolls you. And don't even get me started on the missions. Main story plus tons of bite-sized side missions that are perfect for quick PSP sessions. Critics loved it too. Metacritic score of 85. Folks were calling it the best RPG on PSP. And even one of the best JRPGs in years. It's emotional, it's flashy, and it's the kind of RPG you don't get much anymore. Jeanne d'Arc. So guys, let's chat about Jeanne d'Arc, a PSP tactical RPG from 2006 that's basically history class on steroids. You're playing as Jeanne, our Crusader heroine, who finds this mystical armlet that transforms her into a badass warrior amid the 100 Years' War, but with demons, elves, dragons, and orcs. Because, of course, fantasy. Developed by Level 5, it was their first PSP entry, and quickly became one of the system's standout tactical RPGs. Gameplay-wise, picture rock-paper-scissors affinity clashes, Sol, Luna, Stella, plus team-based buffs with burning auras that let you combo attacks, and a sweet Godspeed transformation move that can turn the tide. Think doing multiple kills in one go. Visually, it's beautiful, with cel-shaded characters, anime cutscenes, and lush maps that look amazing on handheld. Critics were into it, calling it slick, user-friendly, and one of the best PSP RPGs out there. Sure, the story can get messy with its mashup of history and fantasy, but those striking moments, and maybe dragging it out a bit, keep it interesting enough. All in all, Jeanne d'Arc is pretty much comfort food for strategy RPG fans. Tactical, charming, and totally worth dusting off your PSP for. Persona 3 Portable. Imagine diving into a high school life that's anything but ordinary. By day, you're chilling at classes, hanging out with classmates, and managing your time like a boss. But at night, you suit up to fight demons in the dark hour, a creepy alternate reality where a giant tower called Tartarus pops up full of shadowy monsters you're totally not prepared for, except you kinda are, thanks to your badass Persona powers. The PSP version isn't just a straight port, it's an enhanced remix. You get a female protagonist option now, which not only lets you see the story from a fresh angle, but opens up a whole new set of social links and romance options. Talk about replay value. And you're in full control, Seriously, you can micromanage your whole party now. No more, hey AI, do your best. The game totally leans into its handheld roots. Instead of wandering around 3D halls, you navigate with a cursor over slick 2D backgrounds, sharp, efficient, and honestly faster on the PSP screen. Sure, fans miss the animated cutscenes and polished graphics of the PS2 version. Some welcomed them, others felt the immersion dip a bit. But hey, the gameplay's still tight, and the story? Still deep and emotional. All in all, Persona 3 Portable is like the ultimate on-the-go remix. Same haunting vibes, extra choices, better controls, and perfect for quick play sessions. It's portable Persona at its finest. The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. Alright, buckle up. That's the gorgeous box art for The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. Gotta love that PSP style vibe. Now, let's get into the juicy stuff. Casual style. So, Trails in the Sky is this classic JRPG that first dropped in Japan on PC in 2004 and then made its way to the PSP in Japan in 2006, finally landing in North America in 2011, thanks to Hexyz's monstrous localization effort. You step into the shoes of Estelle Bright and her adopted bro Joshua, two bracers in training, kind of like freelance peacekeepers, who head off to explore the kingdom of Liberl, do fun missions, and learn what being a hero is all about. You might think the story's just about a missing dad, but nah, it's way deeper. Conspiracies, political drama, ancient artifacts. And yes, a slow-burning romance that'll get you invested real quick. Combat-wise, it's turn-based on a grid with some genuinely strategic shine, thanks to Quartz, the whole craft system, and S-Craft over-the-top moves. And if you're craving world-building, you're spoiled. This thing is obsessively detailed, over 50 hours of loving storytelling, memorable NPCs, and crazy lore. In short, Trails in the Sky is where old-school JRPG nostalgia meets deep storytelling and clever strategy, and yup, it still hits hard today.
A peace that lasted 100 years, shattered when the Goral system faced an invasion by the mysterious Seed.
Phantasy Star Portable 2. So, Phantasy Star Portable 2, 2009 JP 2010 NA, is basically an upgraded, more social sequel to the original, but this time it turns up the multiplayer vibes to 11. You're a rookie mercenary in the group Little Wing, hanging out on the futuristic colony Clad 6, while the Goral system faces a resource crisis, and some familiar Seed trouble, of course. Customization is where this game shines. Make your own character from head to toe, import your look, but not your level or loot, from the first game, and get cool bonus gear if you do. Combat is real-time, fast-paced, and fun. Combat chaining, blocking, and flashy skills keep things fresh as you tackle over 100 missions, hunt big bosses, and juggle a wild array of weapons and gear. But the real gem? Online multiplayer via infrastructure mode, plus ad hoc of course, making everything way more lit when you squad up with pals, especially since solo mode can get repetitive. All in all, it's a loot-chasing, squad-based action RPG with tons of depth, loads of gear, and enough missions to keep you busy, especially with friends. Perfect for beating on that PSP when you want a sci-fi RPG that's old school, yet still social and engaging.
Watch where you're going, girl! How dare you splash water on a guest!
Forgive me.
Valkyrie Profile Lenneth. Have you ever played an RPG that feels like it's half mythology class and half emotional wrecking ball? That's Valkyrie Profile, Lenneth for PSP in a nutshell. You play as Lenneth, a Valkyrie summoned by Odin to scope out fallen warriors, Einherjar, and recruit them for the final battle, Ragnarok. The whole thing is steeped in Norse vibes, and the storytelling hits hard, pulling you in with short character vignettes that pack a real emotional punch. Gameplay-wise, it's quirky in the best way. Dungeons are more like platformer puzzles, where you're creating ice blocks to climb. And battles are button-mashing combo extravaganzas, with each party member mapped to a face button, super satisfying when you nail those sequences. The PSP version even adds shiny CGI cutscenes to replace the old anime ones, and reworks the display for that sleek, widescreen look. Sure, it's not perfect, load times are a bit of a buzzkill, and the learning curve is steep, but trust me, this game's haunting soundtrack, dramatic story and deep replayability, multiple endings, anyone, make it an unforgettable gem on the go. Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. Do you ever find yourself itching to go full-on Monster Hunter mode on your PSP? Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, 2008 JP 2009 NA, is where that craving goes hardcore. It's basically an expanded version of Freedom 2, like your favorite RPG, but with an extra bucket of epic added to it. We're talking over 400-500 hours of gameplay, plus G-rank quests, new beasties, and fresh weapons and armor that take customization to a whole new level. You can bring in your character from Freedom 2, which is neat, though it does flag a bunch of previously completed stuff. Solo mode, no sweat. Capcom added a furry, feline fighter buddy, like your personal tanky sidekick who pulls aggro and gathers loot for you. But grab some pals for 4-player ad hoc multiplayer, and suddenly strategy and coordination make hunts so much juicier. Graphics? Sounds? The visuals are lush, with frozen mountains and vivid environments, and the orchestral soundtrack makes every hunt feel epic. While it's a serious grind, and a bit daunting for newcomers, once you're hooked, it's impossible to put down. Monster Hunter Freedom Unite is more than a game. It's a marathon of loot, legends and teamwork. It's the ultimate PSP action RPG powerhouse, and seriously, once you start hunting, you're not stopping anytime soon. Star Ocean Second Evolution. And if you thought the original was good, Star Ocean Second Evolution, the 2008 PSP remake, cranks things up with fresh polish and tons of added flair. It starts with your choice between Claude, a space cadet accidentally teleported to a world in crisis, or Rena, a plucky local with a healing touch. And your decision changes the story's flow and even the endings you'll see. This version loads the game with new goodies, private actions that deepen character relationships and unlock tons of endings, like 30+ endings total, plus a new playable character and tons more interaction. And if you're craving cinematic flair, you're in luck. Production YG crafted brand new animated cutscenes. The soundtrack got a full re-record, and voice acting was added for loads of in-game dialogue. The combat plays out in real time. You control one hero while directing your buddies with AI tactics. Combo attacks keep things zippy. And there's a robust item crafting skill system that'll keep you fiddling and fine-tuning your gear for hours. Sure, the graphics lean nostalgic with a mix of 2D sprites and pre-rendered backgrounds. But on PSP, it delivers a cozy retro look that ages well. It's roughly a 30-hour main quest, but side quests, private scenes, and hidden content can easily triple that, making it a compelling adventure you'll want to replay. Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together. Honestly, if you're into deep tactical JRPGs, Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together on PSP is pure gold. Think medieval politics, gritty civil war, and tough moral decisions that honestly hit you in the feels. You step into the shoes of Denham Pavel, a resistance fighter caught in Valeria's brutal civil conflict, and the choices you make shift the entire story, sending you down lore, chaos, or neutral paths. And yeah, that means multiple endings and serious replayability. The remake packs in slick upgrades too, like equipment crafting, a world tarot system for jumping back to key story moments, and expanded scenes and characters to sweeten the experience. Battles are tactical as heck, with your party coordinating attacks on strategic terrain, and you can even rewind bad moves mid-battle. With refined visuals, a remastered soundtrack, and the original Dream Team behind it, this version is easily the definitive way to dive into Tactics Ogre.
Well, that's yet to be seen. But I did work a little magic on it.
Really? What?
An unbreakable connection.
Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. However, if you're a Kingdom Hearts junkie looking for the perfect portable sweet spot, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep 2010 nails it with 3 intertwined storylines, slick real-time combat, and Disney flair that never feels cheesy. You pick between Terra, Ventus, or Aqua right off the bat, and it's awesome how each of their journeys both overlaps and branches in its own unique way. Combat gets a serious upgrade thanks to the command deck system, which lets you stack, evolve, and mix abilities to fit your playstyle. And when that gauge fills, you unleash satisfying surge or storm finishes. Coolest part, the D-Link system lets you temporarily borrow a friend's special move, like borrowing Snow White's whole 7 dwarf squad for a surprise combo. Plus, the command board minigame that plays like Monopoly adds a quirky way to level up, more creative than plain grinding, though hey, it can get a bit repetitive. Bottom line, Birth by Sleep manages to be emotional, strategic, and endlessly replayable. A PSP RPG that actually needed to exist. Shin Megami Tensei, Persona 2. Honestly, Persona 2 Innocent Sin on PSP is like stepping into high school drama mixed with supernatural chaos. You play as Tatsuya Suo and a squad of high schoolers in Sumaru City where rumors literally warp reality. Want a rumor to make a secret shop appear or summon wild stuff? Go for it. Just be ready for things to go sideways fast. This PSP revamp spices things up with a UI refresh, updated character art, adjustable difficulty, and the nifty climax theatre. Bonus mission sequences you can jump into for extra story and XP. The battle system keeps the Persona charm, complete with demon chats and fusion, though the grind and dungeon crawls can feel dated. Visually, it's still rockin' sprite-based charm. Nothing flashy, but the character portraits are expressive and the soundtrack? Solid as hell. Fans on Reddit make it clear the game's slower paced and easier, but it's worth it for the story and vibe alone. In short, if you're down for a deep, weird, rumor-spreading RPG with a killer story, this one's a hidden handheld mood. Ys 7. Let's be real, Ys 7 is that PSP action RPG that just gets handheld gaming. You dive into the world of Altego as Adol and his riotously loyal pal Doji, rescuing some local flower girls, classic RPG move, before getting roped into investigating mysterious earthquakes and awakening dragons. Yeah, typical hero stuff, but with that fun Falcom spin. The combat is fast, addictive, and downright satisfying. You've got real-time battles, skill meters, and those gleaming extra attacks when your gauge is full. Then there's the slick flash guard system that turns perfect timing into total style points. Plus, switching between a party of 3 mid-battle keeps things fresh and tactical. Sure, the story's pretty straightforward, but fans still rave about its pacing, dialogue, and surprising emotional hits. RP Gamer even voted it Best PSP RPG of 2010. Bottom line, Y7 is a perfect pick-me-up. Zippy battles, great music, and story beats that hit just right. It's like a cozy action RPG hug you can play anytime. Hexyz Force. Alright, so Hexyz Force is one of those underrated PSP JRPGs that's a total package if you're down for double the content and some slick crafting. You get to roll through the story from 2 different angles. Play as Cecilia, a reluctant cleric, or Levant, a battle-hardened knight. And each comes with their own full-blown 20-25 hour campaign. Together, you're looking at over 50 hours of game time, complete with multiple endings tied to your moral decisions, creation versus destruction. Combat strikes an interesting balance. Traditional turn-based action amplified with strategic twists. Weapons are elemental and breakable. Resource management is key, and battles reward planning and timing. Crafting rules here. There's no buying gear. Everything's forged or fused using battle-earned materials and force points, which you even spend mid-dungeon. Visually, it's sharp 3D, with clean anime-style portraits and some awesome anime cutscenes that really clutch the vibe.
Rupert, are you too much of a coward to fight me face to face?
Wild Arms XF. So, Wild Arms XF is the PSP's only turn-based tactical RPG outing in the Wild Arms universe, and it brings that signature Wild West meets fantasy vibe in a hex grid style that's rarer than a quick-draw duel at high noon. Set on the dying planet Filgaia, you play as Clarissa, a rebel princess impersonator, and her bro Phelius, leading a ragtag squad to topple a corrupt regime called the Council of Elder Statesmen. Gameplay-wise, it's tactical goodness through and through. You move your squad across hexagonal tiles, pull off formation arts by surrounding enemies, and mash together combo attacks called combination arts for extra punch. You can also swap classes freely, build unique skill loadouts, and visit synthesis shops to forge better gear, all while juggling vitality points that make battles feel more like puzzles than war zones. On the flip side, critics say it's a bit too punishing, with mission types like stealth and escort objectives that demand perfection, and force team composition shifts that can drain momentum. But if you're into thoughtful strategy, wicked customization, and a soundtrack that whistles just right, Wild Arms XF is tailor-made for a late-night PSP binge. Untold Legends, Brotherhood of the Blade. Some uniqueness about Untold Legends Brotherhood of the Blade, a 2005 PSP. For starters, it's that rare hybrid, a full-on Diablo-style dungeon crawler you can play anywhere. And it launched the PSP with style. Right off the bat, you can choose from 4 distinct classes: Knight, Druid, Berserker, or Alchemist, and hack through randomly generated dungeons to save the floating city of Avon. It's simple, addictive, and works surprisingly well for a handheld game's first outing. Graphics-wise, this game flexes hard for a launch title. Think Detailed environments, solid character models, and effects that rival early PS2 action RPGs like Champions of Norath. A few slowdowns and mixed-up camera angles crop up sometimes, but overall, it looks fantastic. But the real magic? Co-op. Wireless multiplayer lets up to 4 players team up, share loot, trade gear, grind together, and it runs smooth. Seriously, teaming up with friends to take down spiders or loot dungeons is when the game becomes unforgettable. Sure, the story's basic and it can get repetitive, but for on-the-go, loot-chasing, demon-bashing action with friends, Untold Legends hits that sweet nostalgic spot. So, there you have it. 15 PSP RPG classics that still outshine a lot of modern games thanks to their creative gameplay, tight storytelling and pure replayability. These titles let you actually enjoy the journey. No microtransactions, no drip-feed DLC. Just immersive stories and intuitive, engaging systems. Fans today appreciate how these games felt more special, more challenging, and uniquely memorable. If you're craving RPGs that deliver heart and depth, this lineup's got your back.
Thank you